referee for the match is Mr. Ian Parnaby. Benilde High, in fact, will defend the northern end of the Parramatta Stadium, and the multicoloured striped jumper at the southern end is Canterbury Boys High School. Their captain, Nate Azar, is the man placing the ball on the halfway mark to get this game underway. Joining us on the touchline is the New South Wales captain, Wayne Pearce. Wayne, this Canterbury side very well fired up, and they look as though they really mean business out there this afternoon.
Sure did, David. In the dressing rooms before the game, they were warming up, stretching, doing plenty of talking, and that's always a team that shows confidence, and we'll wait and see how they start off.
Well, Nate Azar gets the ball underway, gets the game underway, and it's taken this time by the lock forward, El Azzi, and he takes play up to the 22 before he's swamped by the big prop forward, Charlie Sukar. There's some solid defence this time by Canterbury, trying to keep the Benilde side down inside their 22. It goes back to Moses Ayub. He will be the man that will kick in general play for Benilde High. Back it goes for Nick Harvar. He tries to step out of the first tackle, but takes play to within about 8 metres of the halfway line. So it's Canterbury on the boil. That's the halfback Werrett, and the Benilde side caught well inside the 5. Nate Azar quickly up, trying to take the quick one, but will in fact kick towards the far touchline. Again trying to take play inside the Benilde 22. It's a very big pack of forwards, Billy Anderson, this Canterbury side.
Very physical and aggressive team, traditionally Canterbury. They probably won't have the pace in the backs to go with Benilde, but if they can get on top in the forwards, that's where most football games are won, particularly at this level.
Well, that was a shocker from the captain, Nate Azar. But there's the tap restart. The man taking it up was the centre three-quarter, George Darboul. Solid defence by Benilde. 5 metres out from the 22. Sukar got the pass away this time to the second row forward, Syed Hamoud, and he takes play inside the 22, but the knock-on has been ruled by Ian Parnaby, and that's where we'll see the scrum go down. Incredible makeup of this Canterbury side. We have 7 young lads of Lebanese extraction, 4 Greeks, 2 Italians, 3 Samoans, and funnily enough, Billy, 1 Australian.
Yes, well, there are some 40-odd nationalities at Canterbury Boys High School, so we could expect that their first-grade football team would be well represented.
It's Nate Azar. Papa Nicolau going now into dummy half. But the referee's whistle sounds again. Another penalty goes against Benilde High.
They've had to weather a lot of early pressure, Benilde. They had the ball for only some 2 tackles, then kicked, and since then it's been all Canterbury. I just wonder how long they can withstand this sort of attacking flair from the triple-coloured side.
Well, they're going to have to weather it from 10 metres out. The man that will take the tap restart is only a 16-year-old Michael Papanikolaou, through the dummy to Cabrioli. It goes out through Werrett. Werrett in time, this time for Isifer. But good defence by Benilde, who move up very quickly indeed to put the second row forward, Asa Milford, on the ground. Well, that's a beautiful pass for the captain, Zar, but he's lost the ball. In fact, Benilde have been caught pinned inside their own goal line. But the referee will bring it back now for the goal line dropout for the restart of play. Look pretty smart in attack, this Canterbury side, Wayne.
Certainly did, David. I've had reports, I haven't seen them myself, but the tricolours have started off well, and that's always a good sign. They're running into a breeze in this first half, so they'll probably need to pile on a few points by half-time, but they've certainly started off well.
There's the kick downfield for Asa Milford. Strong running forward. High work rate according to the coach, Shane Millard. There's a good break and takes play again inside the 22. So Benilde have been forced to defend for most of this first half as Nick Harvar, the fullback, runs away from broken play and takes play to 11 metres out from the goal line. Papa Nicolau now for the halfback Werrett. Werrett through the dummy. That was for Sukar. He went on his own and takes play to about 2 metres short. Zadar now goes. Zar takes it right up to the line, held up by the defence over the top. Adrian Vaughan, the prop forward. Werrett, a long cutout pass. It's been knocked down. 6 more to go. So again, the pressure back on Benilde. Second row forward, Hamoud to play the ball. It goes to Sukar. Sukar tried to bump out of 1 tackle.
Benilde have got to get the ball back and get it quick, and they've done just that. Their hooker there, number 12, Fatty Gannon, the captain, he's stolen the ball, and that's relieved a lot of intense pressure that they were under.
Well, we saw Fatty Gannon in action. That's Lynch with the knock-on.
And they could ill afford that.
Well, just when they got the ball back to try and relieve that pressure, and you could see the disgust on prop forward Tom Lynch. So it's Jamie Werrett to work the scrum. 8 metres out from the Benilde line. It's a Canterbury put in. A Canterbury, they lose it against the feet, darting away as Brian Ward got the pass out to Kairouz. Kairouz in the clear, he's up over halfway. Has he got the pace? The defence is coming across with Icifer, but Kairouz will race away an 80-metre try. He'll go right around under the post, and so after weathering the storm in defence, they turn defence into attack, and a great 4-pointer.
It's not a bad ratio for Benilde. They've had the ball for 4 tackles and come up with 1 try. You can see here they won the scrum. The halfback Brian Ward elected to work the blind side. That was a good ball. He threw it across the face of his fullback Fisher. That found the extra man there, but really Kairouz still had a lot to do. There was cover defence coming from the scrum and also from the back line, which had been spread on the open side, but he had far too much pace for them. The 5'8" Icifer gave chase. He gave up some 15 metres short of the line. Kairouz got over the try line, went round in goal to improve his position and give what should be an easy conversion to the kicker.
Yes, Bill, this was just a simple blindside play from well inside their own quarter. It was just a move that will, in most circumstances, would have been killed by the halfback and winger. In fact, the lock was nowhere to be seen either, which was a fundamental error. But Faval, well, he had, not Faval, Kairouz had too much pace and went over to score underneath the post.
So 4 points to 0. And that's the try scorer, Richard Kairouz, a member of the SG Ball squad in 87 for Canterbury Bankstown. And so Danny Alazi, also a member of this year's Canterbury Bankstown SG Ball side with the attempted conversion. Up go the flags at 6-0, and Benilde hold that advantage over Canterbury Boys High. In conjunction with this match this afternoon, the New South Wales Rugby League are holding the footy fair for participation by all the 16 clubs in the 88 Winfield Cup, and all the players are out here to support the fans. 4-0, 6-0 in fact by Benilde High, and I suppose Bill Anderson, John Rafferty would regard that as an absolute bonus. They were defending and now they have a 6-0 lead.
It's amazing the number of times that'll happen where one side's doing all of the tackle and they basically burn themselves out in attack, and the defensive side just hangs on, and when they get the ball back, the opposition lets down and you score a very quick try. That's exactly what happened.
Well, they're expecting big things from Scotty McGrath, the man that just played that ball, and Marco De Angelis, the 2 second-row forwards in this Benilde side, as we see Luigi Trafiletti going back, but it's taken by Nick Harbar, the fullback. He's a good-looking fullback, this fellow, but he's driven it down with Kairouz, so not only can he run the length of the field, very solid front-on tackler as well. Paddy Garnham, the captain of the side, over the top in defence. Papa Nicolau for Werrett. Werrett away this time. For top forward, Koulibaly. He plays the ball 10 metres inside his own half. Icifer got the pass away to the second row forward, Milford. Milford's up towards the 22, but good defence on the far side by John Raven. Negates that attack by Canterbury. Nate Azar, the captain, unloaded the pass, and it's Canterbury on the boil this time. It goes out through the centre, Almau. Harbar, the fullback, got the pass away to Trafiletti, but he's wrapped up by Kairouz. Final tackle for Canterbury. It's the lock forward, Nate Azar, for Werrett. Werrett for Suka. Suka got the pass away to Icifer. Icifer, the floating pass over the top. It's left behind and it's picked up by Raven on the far side. So Benilde weathering the storm. Again, the Canterbury jumpers came at them. Again, Benilde is the team that comes up with the ball. And this time it's Scott McGrath taking play outside the quarter line. Now it's the prop forward, Vaughan. Loss of possession. It's finally picked up by Tom Lynch, and the referee signals 6 more to go.
Good decision, that one. There was a Canterbury hand in there that knocked the ball down.
LRC got the ball away from Wagstaff. Wagstaff in turns for Ayub. And a pass out again this time for Kairouz, but the referee has ruled it forward right on the halfway line. And that's where we'll see play come back for the scrum.
Well, Benilde mightn't be a big side, but they're a side that combines very well. Their forwards are working off one another, and when they get the opportunity to spread the ball along the back line, they've got loads of pace and know how to use it.
So it's Werrett with the scrum feed. Healed by Papa Nicolau. That's Icifer, the fullback. Harbour was in, but he's dumped to the ground by Ward. And also by the 5'8" Wilson. Wilson again affecting another solid tackle on Syed Hamoud. Papa Nicolau now to dummy half. For the halfback Werrett, a very tall halfback as well. That's Suka, wrapped up by the tackle of McGrath. Now Werrett spotted the opening, stepped off the right foot, taken by Lynch in the tackle. Papa Nicolau for Zar. He's bumped through the tackle of Lynch and he's lost it. And the referee will have, no, he's allowed play to go on. In fact, it appears that Benilde have come up with the ball. Ward for Lynch. Lynch to the 22, taken by Nader Zar, the captain of the Canterbury side. That's Vaughan. Fatty Gannam, dummy half. Back it goes for Ayub. Ayub with the left foot chip over the top. It'll roll end on end and will go into touch just in on the halfway line. It's the play by the centre three-quarter for Benilde High. 6-0 they lead here at the Parramatta Stadium. Clever play, Wayne Pearce.
Certainly was, David, and whilst Benilde have been on the receiving end of some heavy attack from Canterbury, the problem with Canterbury is they haven't retained possession whenever they've made a break. They've just surrendered possession on numerous occasions. There's only about 15-20 minutes into the game.
So Ayub to look for touch. Good long kick too. Takes play inside the 22. So can Canterbury weather the set of 6 from Benilde? Fatty Gannam is the man that will take the tap. It goes out through Ward. Wrap around with Gannam. That's the second row forward, De Angelis. Gannam again. Ward. Good switch. Gannam. That's the lock forward, El Azi. But the Canterbury defence is solid out wide through the centre, Darboul. There's a good variation. Second row forward, McGrath is driven back by Suka. Gannam unloaded the pass for Raven. Is he in? The touch judge on the far side signals that the corner flag went out, so play will come back to the corner line for the restart. Let's watch it in replay. Bill Anderson.
Yes, you can see it here. It was a good tackle, and it had to be by Favai. He grabbed his opponent just short of the try line, was able to force him into the corner post, and of course the corner post is in goal. It was in conjunction, the ball at the same time.
Tough decision. Nader Zar. I would have thought on most occasions the try may have been awarded, having a look at that replay.
Well, the referee looked for his touch judge, and he was right on the spot.
It is a tough decision, though, when it all happens at once like that. Isafa with a floating pass over the far side. Favai, the man that affected that tackle, is the man that's wrapped up on that far side. Papa Nicolau now for Isafa. It goes out through Zar. Long pass over the top. It's taken by El Maui. Oh, and that's a great hit by the lock forward, El Azi. Tremendous bit of defence there, and I think he's felt the brunt of it, Wayne Pearce.
Yeah, it was certainly a heavy hit there, David. As the Canterbury player was going down, the lock forward from Benilde, El Azi, he just came in and hit him with his shoulder, unfortunately connected with his head, I think.
So Milad Al-Mawi is the injured player. That's Isafa, kick over the top, out for Raven on the wing, fielded it well, got around his opposite number. No, he hasn't. That's good defence by Favai, and he keeps him pinned inside his own 22. 6-0, Benilde in the lead. They're in possession of the ball. And play comes to the 22 through the fullback, Brian Fisher. McGrath. In fact, it's Wilson, the 5'8", that takes the play beyond the 22. Back it goes for Ayub. Long kick downfield. Harvar, the fullback, is underneath it, takes it well. Runs up over halfway, taken over the top, this time by McGrath. Libriali, the big prop forward in the side. Also the first grade cricket captain at the Canterbury Boys High School side. Here's their first 13 captain, Nader Zar, in possession of the ball. Wearing the white boots, very much like Graham Langlands back in the 70s. I hope he doesn't suffer the same fate out there today, or this Canterbury side does.
Well, he's a young lad. He's got a lot of football to go.
6-0 the scoreline here at the Parramatta Stadium. Benilde in the lead. Nader Zar puts it into touch right on the 22. Papa Nicolau now with the tap restart. So Benilde forced to defend. 10 metres out from their own line. Werrett. Suka tried to unload it, did it well for Papa Nicolau. And he's taken only about a metre short of the line. Suka. Werrett. Oh, top defence by this Benilde team. Cubriale, he's lost it over the line. So an ideal opportunity for the big prop forward, Joe Cubriale, but he couldn't get it down, and a good ruling by the referee, Ian Parnaby.
This was simply a matter of holding the ball. The big prop forward, Cubriale, he had got over the line here. We'll see him. He picks up the loose pass, crashes through one tackle, gets over the line, but of course the defence then hits him as he tries to get the ball down. He's jostled and loses it.
So Benilde have taken it beyond their 22. Ward, that's Vaughan the prop forward. Ravensy support on the outside. Can he get around Favai? Zar coming across in cover defence, and that's a great tackle by the lock forward.
Benilde have got a lot of pace on their wings, and that's where they're working to. They're looking to play the ball laterally, looking for overlaps.
Now it goes out through Wilson. Wilson again with the ball, trying to find Wagstaff. Alazi, Ayub. Ayub takes play to 10 metres short of the 22. Alazi, the lock forward, peels away from the play the ball, taken by Al-Maui. Final tackle for Benilde. Let's see what their kicking game's like. Watch for Ward, the halfback. That's him in possession. Kept the ball alive. It's not a good pass. It's picked up by Raven. Tried initially to go on the outside of his man, then came back infield. They've kept it alive. It goes through the second row forward. DeAngelis, he's put the ball high in the air. And finally, allowing it to go dead, is Luigi Trefoletti. Well, I think the referee may have ruled that he actually ran it dead in goal, Bill Anderson.
Yes, I didn't think he did, really. It was a difficult one for the referee, untouched judge. It was a kick on the sixth tackle where the ball had been fluffed around a little bit, and so they were watching the play. The kick went fairly deep. I thought the player actually fielded it after it had gone over the dead ball line.
So instead of the quarter line restart, it's the goal line dropout. The ball bouncing on the halfway line. It's picked up by Wagstaff, the centre. Good strong run. Takes play again up towards the 22 at Canterbury's end of the ground. Benilde lead by 6-0. There's Ward. Ward's in open space. Towed through, but finally fielded by Harvar, the fullback. He's got room to move. He's taken by his opposite number, Brian Fisher.
Let go, both ways.
So the counter-attack coming from Canterbury Boys High. That's Favai. Papa Nicolau, the young hooker and dummy half at the side. There's a steal against the run of play, and Benilde have come up with it again. So can they put the pressure on Canterbury?
Well, the first
good hit again.
8 or 10 minutes were all Canterbury, and the last period of about a similar time has been all Benilde. They're doing plenty of attacking, and they've got players with individual skills that can get the ball away and can step off both feet. They're a good side.
There's Wilson. Good run this time by Wagstaff, and Raven over in the corner. So both wingers have come up with the tries in this Benilde side.
And here's an example of good individual and combination skills. The ball was thrown out on one side of the field. It found its way to the lock forward, El Azzi. He got the ball back to the 5'8", Wilson. And Wilson headed back blind side through the dummy, beat the first tackle, then popped the ball up in the second tackle. It went to the centre, Wagstaff. He was looking for support, found it in the form of Raven. Raven had no one to beat and went across for the 4 points.
Well, this was exceptionally good work by the 5'8", John Wilson, switching the point of attack, but it all went back to that fundamental error from the play the ball, where Benilde won the ball from Canterbury in the play the ball. But Wilson sights a gap here, pops up a beautiful ball for Wagstaff, trailing through, and he does a one-handed pass, good pass out to the winger, and the winger goes over in the corner for a good try.
So Johnny Raven scores Benilde's second try. Both their tries going to their wing three-quarters, Richard Kairouz and now John Raven. And Danny Alazi, the Year 12 student from Benilde High, is lining the kick up from that far side, kicking from in front of the Michael Cronin stand. And I wonder if that's an omen. Michael Cronin, one of the great goal kickers of all time, with that stand here at the Parramatta Stadium named after him. And there's the Nadazar fan club from Benilde High, from Canterbury High. Alazi moves in. It will fall well short. But the scoreline here at the Parramatta Stadium sees Benilde in the lead by 10 points to 0. Well, Billy, I was very interested to note when we got the team rundowns from both sides Plenty of raps from Shane Millard on his players. It was very interesting to note that John Raftery actually played down a lot of his players. He highlighted the players with low work rates. I just wonder whether this was a con, because when I read it, I thought this coach has got no confidence at all in this team. But I think he might have been his way to really lift these players. They've responded.
I think he might have mentioned to the players that he's been very honest, and here's an opportunity for them on television to show what they can do.
Well, there were quotes like Tommy Lynch, the prop forward, not overly fit, but will give 100%. Here's the run this time on the far side by Favai. But again, loss of possession, knock-ons both ways. And that's where we'll see the scrum go down.
Canterbury having a real problem at the moment. They're just unable to play up their 6 tackles and handing the ball back to Benilde, and particularly when you're playing against a side that can move the ball as well as they can, you just can't afford to do it.
Well, this Benilde side have shown so far in this first half that it's just got 10 minutes remaining, that they've got great finishing skills on either flank. And that's where they'll be wanting to play this game for the remainder. As we see Moses Ayoub looking for touch on the far side. Takes play beyond the halfway line, in fact right to the halfway line, and that's where we'll see the tap restart through their captain Fatty Gannam. 2 tries to 0 so far in this first half by Benilde. After weathering a pretty stormy first 10 minutes. That's Adrian Vaughan. Gannam, a dummy half. That's Ward, and that's Lynch, the prop forward. Poor hands. He's lost it, and that's given Canterbury possession of the ball again. The man coming up with it is Asa Milford. Lubriali, the prop forward. Papa Nicolau is the man, a dummy half. Wear it, storming onto it. This is the 5'8", Isafa. Harvar's in the line, the fullback. But good defence by the centre three-quarter Wagstaff to wrap him up, ball and all, right on the quarter line. Isafa swips away on that blind side, got through the first line, meets his opposite number Wilson, and finally wrapped up 8 metres short. Milford out for Suka. The big prop tries to bump through the defence of Marco De Angelis. Papa Nicolau out for Isafa. Zar stood in the tackle, picked up by Isafa again, unloaded the pass for Kubriale, but he's lost the ball, and we'll see the turnover in possession. Benilde to come up with it on the 10-metre line. Ward, McGrath.
As far as Benilde are concerned, it'll be very important to both them and their coach that they go in with the score as it is at half-time. They don't need to build on it, but it's important that they don't let Canterbury get back into this match. Otherwise, they're going to have a real game on their hands in the final 30 minutes.
Tom Lynch. Bumped through the tackle, got the pass away again for Raven. Raven's got the fullback to beat, came inside him beautifully. John Raven will race away for try number 2, the 3rd try for Benilde High, and they lead by 14-0.
It was a good ball by Lynch. We'll see it here to put Raven away. He came to the defensive line, but then he got his hands through it. The defence didn't quite get hold of him. Got his pass onto Raven. Now, this is a very difficult situation for any fullback. Nicky Harper was confronted with a fleet-footed winger coming at him. He probably committed himself a little bit too early. That gave the opportunity for Raven to go inside or outside. He came inside and got the money.
Well, Benilde have scored a couple of tries early, but they've gone around the defence. This is probably one of the first breaks they've made through the defensive line around the rucks, and it was a good break by the prop forward Lynch. He puts away the winger John Raven, who comes inside the fullback. He, as Bill said, committed himself too early, came across too early and gave him no chance to step back, and it was a good try to the winger John Raven.
Now this has given the young lock forward Danny Alazi a lot easier conversion attempt. His rate so far, he's kicked 1 from 2. The last one was a difficult one from right on the touchline on the far side. So let's see if he can add the extras. If he does, it will give them a 16-0 scoreline. But it's interesting to note that Canterbury are huddled right back on the dead ball line. They've had their little teamwork, team talk. Now they come away again to front their opponents after the kick-off. There's the kick from Alazi, and he's missed it. So 14-0 the scoreline with 7 minutes remaining in this Commonwealth Bank Cup clash from the Parramatta Stadium. Benilde High in the lead. Pierce that plenty of thoughts are going through the mind of Shane Millard, the coach of this Canterbury side. He had the side well primed up for this one. They had a very impressive background. Last year, the University Shield quarter-finalists, in '86 the semi-finalists, and in 1985 also reached the quarter-finals of the University Shield. It's a team steeped in tradition in rugby league football.
Yes, David, and I feel they still can win this game. That their problem is throwing the ball away and giving away too much possession. But I believe that what they've got to do is just take the ball up, one off the ruck, and just hit this Benilde line, because when they do that, they're making a lot of yardage. They're just throwing the ball away on the 4th and 5th tackle by trying to throw it around and play fancy football. There's no need for that type of play.
That's Wilson, wrapped up by the second row forward, Asa Milford. Fadiganum in a dummy half. That's Ward kicking in general play, turning Trefaletti around the winger. He dives on it well. Slowly to his feet. Canterbury very slow to get back in support. That's Harvar, the fullback. Got around the tackle of Vaughan. Also finally wrapped up by Alazi. Quick play the ball by Harvar. Made another good 10 or 12 metres. McGrath was the man that picked him off. Papa Nicolau, a dummy half. That's Werrett with the switch of play. Milford. Good defence by Alazi. Once again, Papa Nicolau. Werrett. Long pass away this for Favai, but Favai, dreadful hands on the right wing. And again, we see the knock-on ruled and the scrum will go down. Well, that's fundamental errors, Bill.
Yes, they're mistakes you can't make. They've got to get back into this game as quickly as they can, Canterbury, and as Wayne suggested, they do put pressure on when they try to go through the defensive line, but trying to go around them, I don't think is the answer.
Scrum win against the feed. That's Isifer. Stood in the tackle, finally wrapped up by Ward. Werrett from dummy half. That's Kubriale. Isifer out this time for Dabul. Now for Almaui. Almaui stepped out of one and finally driven to the ground by Mick Wagstaff. Nate Azar through the dummy, went on his own. He's close to the line. I think he's over. No, he's held up. Just a metre short. Papa Nicolau from dummy half. That's Suka. Added weight came in that time from Kubriale, the prop forward. Werrett with the kick across, picked up by Wagstaff. Taken 10 metres out from his own goal line. Quick play the ball. That's Ward. Raven again with space. He's already scored 2 tries. Could this be the hat-trick? Once again, it's one-on-one. Drew the pass beautifully. Ward's away. Chased by Milford. He won't get him. And Ward goes in the corner. Could well have improved the position for his goal kicker. But the 4th try by Benilde High to give them an 18-0 scoreline.
There's no doubt about this Benilde side. They can string together some passes. It was all started by the halfback, Brian Ward. He ran wide and picked up Raven. Now, Raven's got plenty of pace. We saw him score a try earlier where he stood the fullback up. This time he simply drew the fullback. Passed inside. Guess who was there? It was Ward, the man that had started the ball. Cover defence was coming across. He had far too much pace for that. He could have gone aground and improved his position, but he was happy just to get the 4 points.
Well, once again, the Benilde players are going around the Canterbury players, and it all, as you said, it was all started by Brian Ward. Raven did exceptionally well here. He drew the fullback precisely at the right moment. He gave it to Ward, Brian Ward, and he outpaced the Canterbury second rower, Milford, to the line. So it was a good try once again to Benilde.
Great try by Brian Ward, but I'm sure that Danny Alazi wouldn't be rushing to thank him for scoring it right out in the corner when he could well have come around under the post, but maybe he thought the cover was still coming at him. He was quite content to dive over in the corner for Benilde's 4th try of this first half. Just 3 minutes of play remaining at the Parramatta Stadium in the first 30 minutes. And Alazi with the toughest kick so far of this first half. I'd say it's only probably a foot to 18 inches in from that far touchline. Let's see how he strikes it. There's the kick. It will fall short once again. So the scoreline at the Parramatta Stadium, Benilde enjoy the lead of 18 points to 0. Well, there's a change to the Canterbury side. Con Raptis is on to replace Lee Favai, who has been left wanting on the right wing for Canterbury. His hands have let him down. His defence hasn't been all that flash as well. And Shane Millard, the coach, Bill, probably left with no alternatives. In fact, Joe Armeo is the man that's on. So there's the Werrett running away from the back of the scrum. Nader Zar, little kick over the top, nicely taken by Brian Fisher. Wilson, stepping run, 11 metres out from his own goal line, Fatty Gannam. Now we see Richard Kairouz, the other winger, getting into the action. Now it goes with Moses Ayoub driving it upfield. This man's had plenty to do in the first half.
Yes, but they have kicked to him, haven't they? I prefer my kicker to be kicking away from the fullback, not at him.
Well, there's the half-time siren in the background. The replacement player, Joe Armeo, has his first touch, but the scoreline at the Parramatta Stadium sees Benilde with 4 tries to 0, lead Canterbury by 18 points to 0. More action coming up on the other side of the break. And welcome back to the Parramatta Stadium, the Commonwealth Bank Cup action for 1988. This no changes to the Benilde side. There was one late change in that first half. Joe Amayo replaced Leif Favai on the right wing for Canterbury. So it will be the centre three-quarter Moses Ayub to restart play for Benilde. This time they'll defend the southern end of the Parramatta Stadium. Referee Ian Parnaby sounds the whistle and play is underway. First man to touch the ball in the second half is Nick Havar, the fullback for the Canterbury Boys High School side. And he takes it out about 15 metres from his own goal line. In fact, now driven back another 5. That's Trefaletti, wrapped up by Vaughan, the prop forward. Well, that could well have been a penalty against the Benilde side. The ball appeared to be reefed away in the tackle, but the referee will play the knock on and the scrum will pack down. So the big front row of Canterbury goes down. Got a penalty against Brian Ward. No, it's against the front row for not packing square. And it's Nate Azar, the captain of the Canterbury side, who will look for touch on this commentary side of the Parramatta Stadium. Oh, that's a shocker. It's the white boots, Billy, is it?
Oh, I won't blame the boots, no.
So Papa Nicolau, the young hooker, to restart play. Through, oh, that's dreadful play. And that's fundamental errors, Wayne Pearson, with the side down 80-0, Canilla forward.
Exactly, David. It was just a case of no communication there, and that appears to be a problem in their team. They're not communicating, particularly in defence on the fringes of the rucks, and hopefully they'll be able to rectify that problem.
There's Wilson, step back into the lock forward, Zar. Cutting dummy half. El Azi stepped off the right foot, tried to get the pass away. It's picked up this time by Isifa, 11 metres out from his own goal line. That's Kubriale, the prop forward, runs it up towards the 22. Papa Nicolau, a dummy half, that's Werrett. Sukar, the other big prop forward, charges onto the ball, brushes aside McGrath. Out for the centre three-quarter, Al-Maui, but coming in is Tom Lynch to wrap him up in the tackle. Once again, it's Papa Nicolau, back for Zar, onto the right foot. This time it's a good kick that sends Fisher and also the wing three-quarter John Raven back, but it's Fisher that fields it 10 metres out from his own goal line, and he's wrapped up well and truly by Isifa and also by the second row forward Syed Hamoud. There's Raven. Oh, he's lost it. This time picked up by Dabul. So fundamental errors from both sides in the opening 2 minutes of this second half. Syed Hamoud takes play beyond the 22. Papa Nicolau for Werrett. That's Sukar. Stood in the tackle. Basketball pass for Werrett. They've got the numbers out wide. That's Isifa through the gap. And Isifa does exactly what his coach would have wanted him to do by opening the scoring of the second half. Isifa goes over for Canterbury's first try. The scoreline now 18 points to 4 in favour of Benilde.
Well-engineered try, this one. First of all, it was Colubriali who hit the line hard, then got his hands free, got the pass back to Werrett. Like a good halfback, he was backing up, but then he ran into a hole. It was the support player, Isifa. He came into a space, took a good pass, and went across for a very important try.
This could be a sign of things to come. All they've got to do is just maintain some pressure for the 5 or 6 tackles, and Benilde will crack. But there was great backing up from Werrett, a great pass from Kubriali, and the pace of Isifa got him through that gap, and he scored adjacent to the post. A great try.
Well, he was the Canterbury 5/8 last year. He's a very exciting player to watch. He's been given limited opportunities today. And Nate Azar is the man that will be attempting the conversion. The ball is placed just short of the 22. It's about 14 metres to the left of the upright. This is a very important kick for Canterbury. He struck it well, but it's waved away. The scoreline at Parramatta Stadium sees Benilde still in the lead by 18 points to 4. Well, some replacements, Wayne Pearce.
Yes, David, two replacements on for Benilde High. In the forwards there, Mark Nelson, number 16, is on for number 11, Adrian Vaughan. And number 15, Jason Berg, is on to replace the other prop, Tom Lynch.
Well, Jason Berg, the big, tall, blonde-headed player. Young, very talented. He's only 16 years of age. Mark Nelson will be sporting the headgear. There's the restart of play. So we'll see if this Canterbury side can capitalise on that try by that man in possession of the ball, Isifer. That's Nate Azar running from dummy half. There's the gap, picked off by McGrath, and a great tackle. Quick play, the ball was required. They got it. The two headgear players, Papanicolaou and Werrett. This time the ball's gone astray, and it'll go into touch on the far side. So just a bit of desperation in this Canterbury side. They know they've got to come back into the game.
Yes, the thing that's working against Canterbury here is the fact they've got to look to push the ball at most opportunities. It is vital, but they don't overplay that. They take opportunities as they come. Just stick to what they're doing. Really, 25 minutes of football left to go, and that's a heck of a long time.
Ward for Kairouz. Open the scoring for Benilde in the first half. Paddy Gannam, Alazi out for Wilson. Pass to the fullback Fisher. Beautifully picked up by Ayoub. Goes out to Raven again on the left wing. This time he can't get around Trifoletti. That's the centre three-quarter Wagstaff. Gannam for Ward. Alazi stepped off the right foot and ran straight into the tackle of Suka. Gannam, Wilson, bad pass. This time dived on by Almaui. Darboul came over the tackle of Jason Berg. Papanicolaou for Werrett. He's lost the ball. And it's a Benilde ball midway between the half and the 22. Ayoub was the man that came up with possession for Benilde. That's the replacement, Jason Berg. Now Ward out this time. Kairouz again. Oh, but it's towed over the dead ball line by Nate Azar. And play will come back to the goal line for the restart of play.
Well, this shows you the confidence that Benilde have got in their pace, in their own pace. Kairouz had very little space to work in, but he elected still to go on the outside and almost came up with a result.
Interesting note, Bill, with Joe Armeo on the field, that they moved the more experienced player Trifoletti onto the right wing to mark the Benilde left winger John Raven, who scored 2 tries and set up another one. Now Wagstaff. 11 metres out. Ayoub, Berg, running onto the ball strongly, the replacement player. It's been towed through by the prop forward Suka, and to play the ball.
It still should be a Canterbury feed and loose head, and they'd be 90% sure of winning the scrum.
One against the feed, where it comes up with it. Oh, Ward stolen it, or taken high in the tackle by Milford, slowly to his feet. Gannam back for Alazi. It's Gannam again on the blind side. Oh, that's a good run by the second row forward. It's a try, is it? De Angelis has come up with the try. Referee Ian Parnaby blows the whistle, the tempers flare, but Marco De Angelis is the man that comes up with another try for Benilde High.
Good strong this one, good strong run this one. De Angelis simply crossed from one side of the play the ball, the other was too strong for them.
It was a very soft try here, but it's been typical of the match as far as Canterbury goes. They've been very, very weak on the blind side, and Benilde have exploited that right throughout the night.
And that's probably indicated by the scoreboard. 5 tries to 1 to Benilde High. Marco De Angelis is the one that's come up with that one. And again, a very tough kick for Danny Alazi. He hasn't really had a great success rate so far. 1 from 4 so far. This time it's about 5 metres in from the commentary side touchline of the Parramatta Stadium, which in effect, Bill, looks a little barren for the start of the 1988 Winfield Cup, about to get underway next weekend. There's a lot of bare patches on the stadium.
Had a lot of use, had a lot of games, soccer and so on played here, a few pop concerts, and I'm sure they knock it around a little bit. We can't blame the football.
Alazi with the ball placed. An orthodox kicker with the ball flat on the mound. So often we see the round the corner style kickers in Commonwealth Bank Cup, as we do in the Winfield Cup as well. Let's see what Danny Alazi can do with this kick. He moves in. He's got the height and the distance, but the target is away to the left. And so the scoreline is 22 points to 4, and it's Benilde that enjoy that advantage. Well, this has been pretty convincing stuff, Wayne Pearce.
Certainly has, David. Benilde have just played methodical football, really. They've spun the ball wide and gone around the Canterbury side when they've had to, but Canterbury have just made too many errors. They haven't moved up on the edges of the ruck in defence, particularly out wide, and they've dropped too much ball when they've had possession. So all up, they've just made too many errors.
Well, Bill, I think confidence is the key. And to see Scotty McGrath pick that ball up so confidently from the kickoff just indicates that.
Yes, I'd also have to say I think that the Benilde boys probably have got slightly better skills than the Canterbury boys. Very enthusiastic, very determined, the tricolours, but they just don't quite have the same skill level.
Another replacement coming on, number 16, Wayne Pearce.
Yeah, Steve Validiadis is on for George Daboul in the centres for the Canterbury side.
Very much, Wayne, and the scrum packing down on halfway. Isopher. So Daboul is the player that's shown a deficiency with his handling in this match so far. Vasiliadis is the replacement back. He's only 16 years of age, as Wayne mentioned, will wear number 16. Werrett had a little look and lost the ball. And they are really basic fundamental errors that are creeping into this Canterbury side.
He's proved a very handy replacement, Berg. He's come on, he only knows one way to go, and that's forward, and he's taking a few defenders with him each time he runs.
And that's the man Bill's talking about, a dummy half. That's Ward. Goes out through Wilson and a long pass to Ayub.
So they've got numbers here again, and they really didn't do anything except spread the ball. Of course, they spoiled it all with that simple drop pass by Wagstaff, but they were doing nothing fancy, just lateral passing.
So the scrum will go down. In Canterbury's territory, Harvar, the fullback, is the player called out to be spoken to by the referee, Mr. Ian Parnaby. It will be Jamie Werrett to feed the scrum. It's a Canterbury scrum win. It goes out through the fullback, Harvar. Came to Wilson, took play to the halfway line, but can't get through the three-man tackle of Benilde. Werrett. That's the replacement player, Steve Vasiliadis. Vasiliadis takes play inside Benilde's end of the ground. Nadazar from dummy half, taken by McGrath. Over the top was the other second row forward, Marco De Angelis, the last try scorer for Benilde. Isopher, that's Suka. He's lost it. It's back for the 5-8. Isopher once again, 10 metres out from the 22. It's Ward. Oh, here's Kairouz with room to move again. But that was good defence by the replacement player, James Armeo, or Joe Armeo on the left wing for Canterbury. That's McGrath. Now play inside the 22. Benilde lined out in attack. Gannam picked up nicely by Ward for Wilson. Tried to open the gap up, but good defence. Long pass. Wagstaff. Raven leaves it behind him. And finally the ball into touch. Well, there's no reason, Wayne, for all this drop ball out there. The conditions absolutely ideal.
Exactly, David. There's a slight breeze blowing into the faces of the Benilde players, but as you say, it's as dry as a bone, and I think it's just a matter of them trying to force too many passes.
Penalty ruled against the incorrect feed of Jamie Werrett. The penalty goes Benilde's way. Ayub will come across to drive the ball into touch. And once again set up another attacking ploy for this Benilde side. Their ploys so far have produced 5 tries to Canterbury's 1, and a scoreline that reads 22 points to 4, 17 minutes of play remaining in the second half. De Angelis, wrapped up by Isopher and also Kubriale, or Colubriale, the prop forward. Gannam, that's Suka in defence. Benilde captain Gannam for Ward. Good switch of play. Delazi, the lock forward, takes play about 5 metres out from the Canterbury line. Now it goes out through half-back Ward. Spotted the gap. It opened, it closed. So Canterbury with their backs to the wall. Oh, that's a good steal. That's just where they needed it. And I think it might have been the 5'8" Icifer that came up with it. In fact, it was. That's a penalty. And tempers flaring. Jason Berg in there trading a couple of blows with the Canterbury opposition. And I noticed straight away that Icifer, the vice-captain of this Canterbury side, Bill, came straight in to reprimand his own player.
Yes, they're a fairly hot-blooded side, the Canterbury outfit. They're a team of boys that are very motivated, very enthusiastic, and it's good to see that they're taking control of their own players here and making sure there's not a flare-up.
Papanikolaou for his captain, Nate Azar. That's a good stepping run by the lock forward, but he's picked off beautifully in the tackle by De Angelis. Papanikolaou again. Second row forward is Syed Hamoud. Switch of play again. Double switch. Suka. Berg over the top in defence. Calibriale loses the ball. And the referee's whistle will go. That's where we'll see the scrum go down. And another replacement coming on for the Canterbury side.
Yes, David, number 15, George Alaro, is on for the second rower, Saeed Hamoud.
So yet another replacement in the Canterbury side. Penalty goes against Canterbury. Ayub will look for touch on the far side of the Parramatta Stadium, probably trying to drive it up towards the quarter line. And that's exactly where he takes it to. So that's where we'll see the tap restart. Build of a centre, Ayub, tall and strong. Berg runs onto it too. He crunched in the tackle by Nate Azar. Good front on defence by the Canterbury lock and captain. Wilson, pass for Ayub, showed that strength to stand in the tackle. Nate Azar again over there to do the defence. Leading by example. Wilson, cut-out pass for Raven. His hands let him down. Probably the pass wasn't the best, but he's had a dream run in the first half, this young fellow, Billy Anderson.
Had a great initiation, didn't he? The first couple of times he touched it, he was able to get it over the try line, and that's always a confidence booster, but things haven't quite worked out in this second 30 minutes.
Referee not happy with the scrum feed. Jamie Werrett to feed it. It's a Canterbury ball with the feed. Werrett, Icifer, good pass. That's good play and good defence.
Yeah, that last pass should have gone, Dave. He had the opportunity to get the ball away.
Well, Nick Harvar stood in the tackle, still kept the ball alive. Came to Nelson. Papanikolaou, Nate Azar. That's Suka, stood in the tackle again. This time they won't let him unload the ball. 13 minutes of play remaining. It's 22-4 the scoreline. Long floating pass, the intercept was on, it wasn't picked off. Vassiliadis got it away this time for the replacement, Mayo, and he takes play inside the 22, but picked off in the tackle by the fullback, Brian Fisher. Well, that's a dream tackle from a fullback.
Yeah, it was a good break here by Mayo. He didn't have much space to work in, but the fullback had him on the touchline. He had nowhere to go, had to keep going down there, and Fisher just picked him off.
Scrum feed by Benilde. They come up with possession inside their own 22. Kairoos. Over the top came the replacement player, George Alaro. Fisher Tidwell to hang on to it. Papanikolaou was the man that wrapped him up in the tackle. Nelson left it behind him, dived on it. 8 metres out from their own goal line, right under the post. Benilde leading 22-4. 12 to go in the second half. The winner of this match, of course, keeps their hopes alive in 88. This Commonwealth Bank Cup is a knockout competition involving 200 of the best schools in New South Wales and Queensland. And what tremendous supporters Billy Anderson, the Commonwealth Bank, have been to this cup competition and support of junior rugby league in Australia.
Yes, it's not only the Commonwealth Bank Cup that they support, it's all schoolboy football and other sports right throughout New South Wales and Queensland, and we thank them very much for their involvement.
Papanikolaou for Werrett, out for Icifer. Pass held up for Nate Azar, but Icifer went to ground with it. 12 metres out from the Benilde line. Papanikolaou feeding Werrett again. Vassiliadis was on the outside, couldn't get the pass away. Once again, the hooker, Papa Nicolau, that's Nader Zar, the kick over the top, wrapped up by, or taken by Raven and wrapped up in the tackle in his own in-goal. And play will, in fact, come back to the quarter line for the restart of play. Well, they're trying everything, Wayne, but I think it's all far too late for Canterbury.
It certainly is, David. There's just not enough time on the clock. There's 11 minutes left, but I'd like to compliment Nader Zar. He's certainly pushed his team for the full game. He's been toiling against the odds, and unfortunately they just made far too many errors throughout the match to be any chance of winning this at all.
Well, he's in his third year in the first grade side at Canterbury, and that experience has really showed out there today. He really has worked hard in defence. He's always looking for things to do. The little chip kick a moment ago was indicative of that, but he is a great leader. So Nelson will play the ball for Garnham. For Ward, out for the centre three-quarter Wagstaff. Taken in the tackle over there by Armeo. Berg. Top forward kicks downfield for Nick Harvar, the fullback. He fills it inside his own 22. Beat the tackle of Berg, beat another of Wilson, stepped out of another, but finally picked off. And goes to ground, the tackle of De Angelis. Suka loses the ball. It's a Benilde ball. Inside the Canterbury end of the ground. Wilson for Wagstaff. He's got Raven on his outside. Wagstaff got the pass beautifully for Wilson and nicely picked off by Vasiliadis, the replacement player for Canterbury. Now Wagstaff again. Plenty of numbers for Benilde. The Canterbury defence is stretched. They're trying to call the numbers out wide. Now Ward. There's the kick for that far line. Armeo goes back. Kairouz and Fisher look for the ball on the far side for Benilde.
That was a well-placed kick and should have resulted in a try. Just had two players going forward at the one time instead of staggering their chase.
Here's Ayoub. Trying to work that blind side for Benilde. Final tackle. Watch for Ward, the halfback. There's the kick again across the face of goal. This time it goes too deep, and in fact dead in goal. And play will come back to the quarter line for the restart of play. 9 minutes on the clock, 22-4 the scoreline. And as we welcome back to the Parramatta Stadium, another Canterbury player, Wayne Pearce, warming up on the touchline.
Yes, it's actually
Simon Hussein, I think it is, isn't it?
Simon Hussein is on for number 5, Luigi Trefoletti.
So Trefoletti off, Hussein on. But I think the horses bolted as far as Canterbury are concerned. I really thought they would have gone into this game as the favourites. This fellow's worked hard, Billy Anderson. Doesn't possess a lot of skills, but he has got that great ability to stand and unload in tackles.
Yes, he has. Probably a little bit more mobility required, but he's built in the right mould.
So the temper's starting to flare. Icifer, who just settled his own players down, is in the thick of things out there. The touch charge in on the far side. And maybe we see the vice-captain of this Canterbury side, Osafu Icifer, called out for a caution. So he's captain over there, Nader Zar. And I suppose there would be a fair bit of frustration in the Canterbury side. They, as I mentioned, Billy, a couple of changes, Wayne Pearce. I noticed another couple coming on for Benilde High.
There certainly is. John Rachichi is going on the field. He's in number 14. He'll go to 5'8", and Brian Ward will, in fact, go to halfback. Brian Ward will be off, sorry, and John Wilson will go to halfback.
Okay, and I think Mark Pisani was the other player that I saw come on as well.
Mark Pisani is on for Mick Wagstaff.
Okay, so they're the replacements in this Benilde side. There's the scoreline, 22-4. 7 minutes on the clock here at the Parramatta Stadium. That's Pisani. We play the ball. De Angelis. Great players. Put your glasses down. Richard Kairouz will streak away for his second. Benilde 6. That's the ball game. Great try by Richard Kairouz. Quick ball movement by Benilde, and another top try.
Good exploitation here of the blind side. It was the number 10, De Angelis, that set it off. He broke a tackle. got a part onto Kairouz. Now, Kairouz realised he had enough pace to get there, but he wasn't going to take it easy. He set sail for the try line, worked himself around behind the try line, got his goal kicker in a better position, and that is the ball game.
And once again, the Canterbury defence was caught out on the blind side. Mario De Angelis, a great run, offloaded to Kairouz. And what I'd like to know is, where is the Canterbury fullback? Kairouz had no one in front of him and showed his pace to score underneath the uprights.
And finally, as a result of where young Richard Kairouz has placed the ball, Danny Alazi has probably his easiest attempt at conversion. Kairouz appeared to be injured when scoring that try, and he's finally kicked another one. So 2 goals from 7 attempts for Alazi, and the scoreline is 28 points to Canterbury's 4. On the clock at the Parramatta Stadium, and safe to say, Billy Anderson, that we'll be seeing more of Benilde High in 88.
They got through to the 5th round last year. They were beaten by James Cook, who were semi-finalists, but when you get to that stage, anything can happen. But I'm going to be surprised if they don't go at least that far this year.
Well, with pace on the flanks like they've got...
Here we go again.
There's another chance.
Oh, great tackle.
Great tackle from Nate Azar. Wilson felt the brunt of that as well. That's a top cover defending tackle that will even please you, Wayne Pearce, I think, for a cover defending lock forwards tackle.
It was a great tackle, Dave, and as I said, he's worked his best all night, and he can't be faulted, really. In fact, I think he's one of the best players on the field.
That's him up to the play the ball now. Taking it away is George Alaro. Papa Nicolau, a dummy half. Once again for Werrett. Lubriale to the 22. Driven back over the top by Berg. He comes up with possession. The referee's whistle's gone. He will rule a knock on both ways. Could have been a tough decision. We have another injured player. I think it might be the 5'8" Isifer. The player down injured. There's the scrum feed. Werrett comes away with it. Vasiliadis stepped nicely. Got the pass away this time to the centre, Almaui. But again, the ball's been dropped by Mayo on the far side.
Canterbury just can't hold the ball. They're getting themselves into good opportunities to come up and score tries, but it's just that last pass that's going to ground on numerous occasions.
So Benilde trying to hit it out through their second row forward, Scott McGrath. He's to his feet. Alasi to the 22. Colubriale over the top. Suka underneath. 3 minutes left on the clock at the Parramatta Stadium. And Benilde still full of running. That's good defence this time by the centre three-quarter, Milad Almaui. Ayub with the kick.
It's a well-placed kick. That was a great kick. He didn't have much touchline to work in, just put it onto the left foot, in behind the winger. The lock was there in cover defence, but he couldn't do anything about it.
Well, here it comes again in replay. Watch it bounce end on end. Nate Azar was the man getting across there, but it just beats him into touch. But he'll maintain the feed. And in fact, it appears that Nate Azar will feed the scrum. Werrett has gone back to lock forward. Nate Azar breaks away from the tackle, no support. Came to the fullback Fisher. Over the top also was the replacement, John Rikiki. That's him in the headgear, Rikiki. And that's another replacement, Alaro for Canterbury. Takes play to a metre short of the line, 2 minutes remaining. Papa Nicolau for Werrett. Cut out. Pass goes to Colubriale. Pass to Havaras forward. He shows his disgust by bouncing the ball on the ground. But the play will come back to, in fact, the penalty. Havar was ruled in an offside position.
It was a pass that should have gone a lot earlier, really. The opportunity was there to stretch the ball. The overlap was on, but once the tackle was made, it was dead, and instead of dying with the ball, the pass was tried to be pushed, all too late.
Moses Ayub, his kick goes into touch on the far side at the stadium, which is now totally in shadow. The big game tonight in the National Panasonic Cup, which this is the curtain raiser, is the cup clash between South Sydney and Canberra, and the crowd already building up. So let's go through the scorers for the Benilde side. It's been a 6-try haul, 2 tries to Kairouz, 2 to Raven, 1 to Ward and 1 to DeAngelis, and El-Azzi, the lock forward, has kicked 2 conversions. 1 try to the Canterbury side was scored by Isifer. As we see them, another move made by Ayub into the 22, got the pass away. It's been left behind this time by Rakiki. We also thank Wayne Pearce for joining us on the touchline. It's great to have you aboard again, Junior, for another Commonwealth Bank Cup match.
Thanks, David. It's great to be a part of this match tonight. It was a game that's been well won by Benilde, but it's a strange game because that first 20 minutes there, I thought Canterbury were going to run away with the game, but to their credit, Benilde have won.
Well, Benilde have won, as Billy mentioned, as Wayne mentioned, the final scoreline at the Parramatta Stadium, scoring 6 tries to 1. Benilde have run out winners by 28 points to 4. Join us at the same time on Network 10. On next Saturday morning, we'll have more action with Billy Anderson. It's been a great performance by Benilde.
Well, I came here thinking there was going to be a tight game, and if anything, Canterbury would go into the match as favourites, but that wasn't the case, and we can see the jubilation here on the faces of the Benilde supporters. They've got away with this one, deservedly so. They scored some great tries, played very entertaining football. They're not a big football team, but they're a very fast football side. They're going to go a long way in this Commonwealth Bank Cup, mark my words.
Okay, David Fordham on behalf of Bill Anderson and Wayne Pearce, join us for the clash next week. The clash between Miami High and Trinity College from Benilde from the Chris Cunningham Field at Tweed Heads. We'll see you then.